those who are regular viewers to the vlog will see that I've just loaded another oxygen cylinder, an empty one, into my boot. And those who are the observant type will realise the fact that I've, well, not only just, but 3 months ago gone and got myself a new one. The problem is Jason. A few weeks ago he didn't turn off the oxygen tank, and as it happened, one of our torches was open on the oxygen valve. When I went in on that Sunday, the oxygen was coming out of the torch. Tank virtually empty. Now it's pretty much empty, and so again I'm going to pick up an oxygen cylinder. These are oxygen cylinders, normally last us sort of 6 months. This one has only lasted us 3 months. So Andrew Berry is going tatters this morning. Hiya. That's the oxygen cot. Now it's time to get on with some work. I've got to get on with a little bit of work today. This is a bit of a personal project I'm doing. You may have seen on Instagram, excuse these lights are really bright. On Instagram I've made up a small little wax sort of bone that I cast in Delft clay, and then I've soldered on the little connecting links. It's going to be a chain, they're going to be chain links, and I want to cast each individual link, and this is what we've got. Let me just see, there we go. So this here is the bone, those are the connecting links. I have got to make a little rubber of this little master that I have created, and that's what I'm going to be doing now. Again, this is purely going to be a really quick overview, may even speed the whole thing up, just to let you know how we go about making these little molds. If you want to know more information about how to make these molds, much more detailed information, you can always go along to our online training website at thebench.com. Sign up, and you too can learn how to make these masters and how to do all sorts of things regarding jewellery manufacturing, design and repair and all that sort of thing. Anyway, I'll shut up and just get on with some work now. The idea is that you pack up the frame with more rubber than sort of it can take, basically, because what you want to make sure is that when this plate full of this rubber gets put into that vulcanizer, is that when the rubber melts, it flows everywhere into all the little nooks and crannies. If you just put enough rubber just to fill the frame, there's no pressure forcing the rubber down into the mold, and that's the reason why we sort of overpack a mold. This is about a 13mm deep frame. We've got 4 pieces of rubber, and the rubber's roughly around about 4mm thick. So that's 16mm thickness in a 13mm frame, ensuring that we can get the maximum amount of rubber. And that is the reason why, is that once we put it into that vulcanizer, it's cured, there's always that little flappy bit on the top. That's the excess. If we didn't have that, we would know that there was not going to be enough rubber in the mold to make a successful mold when we come to wax inject it. So that's done. Plate's going to go on the top. We're going to put it into the vulcanizer, and according to my table, if I've got 4 pieces of rubber, I need to put it in there for 30 minutes at in the region of 307 degrees Fahrenheit, about 152 degrees centigrade. And so we've got this set, it's 150, roughly about 152 degrees. We're going to put the other plate on top. That is to ensure that you get a nice even amount of pressure being pushed down, and that's going to go into that vulcanizing press now. Making sure that it's set, ow, that's hot. Making sure that that's pretty much central. And then we will, yeah, I did have another handle here, but it snapped. And then we wind it, and as you wind it, the plates come down. We take it down so far, hang on. We will now wait for the heat to come through to the mold. We will release it in case there's any sort of trapped air. Then, whoa. And then we will tighten it again as tight as we possibly can, then leave it then for 30 minutes. 30 minutes? Yeah, and for 30 minutes, and then that rubber would have melted, filled the mold, filled up all the little nooks and crannies around our master. Then we can remove it, cut it, open it up, and start injecting some wax, which I doubt if I'll get done in this particular film, but it'll be an ongoing project. Hey Siri, set timer for 30 minutes.
Your timer is set for 30 minutes.
Okay, that is my timer going off. My 30 minutes is done. So we need to release the pressure on the press and remove the frames. Now the frames are going to be very, very hot. You don't want to be touching these with your fingers because it's 152 degrees, which is above boiling point, and it will give you a nasty, nasty burn. So turn off the mains, release the pressure, use some gloves to take out the mold. Get your gloves on. So the one side we've left the label on. You've got these little wiggly wormy bits coming out of the open holes. And there's the excess that we've got over the edge of the mold, which shows that there was plenty of rubber in the mold. We just need to push the mold out of the frame, allow it to cool down. Some people will put it into some cold water, but to be honest, I'm not in any rush. I'm not planning on opening this today. This will be a little bit later on in the week. Tonight is our shop Christmas party. There's only 4 of us. Kerry couldn't come because she is down in Cardiff doing her bits and pieces, and she's actually having a Christmas party tonight as well. And Mary, Jason, Sharon and myself were off up to Bryn Meadows for a Christmas party. And it's going to be quite a good, I hope it's going to be a good evening anyway. There's an ABBA tribute band and also a DJ. I'm also going to be having our Christmas meal as well. And what I'm looking forward to is the trio of desserts. Now I assume that means 3 desserts. We've got a zesty lemon tart, a warm chocolate brownie, and Fruits of the Forest cheesecake. And I've been rushing around the house trying to get this place nice and tidy because Sharon, Mary and Jason are coming to the house for prees, for pre-drinks. Now prees is something that I only thought youngsters did. You know, they have a bit of a drink. Oh heck, I gotta take this. I gotta take all these coverings off the sofa before Mary and Sharon turn up, otherwise Kevin will kill me. I thought prees was only something that youngsters did, but before they went out night clubbing and discoing and the things that youngsters do these days. But apparently not. Apparently old people like me do prees as well. So I'm just gonna knock back a couple of cups of coffee with a bit of caffeine in it. Some groovy music going on. Feliz Navidad. Who needs alcohol when you can have 2 cups of high caffeine and high strength coffee, eh? We'll have to see as the evening goes on.